Welcome back to today's Blueprint News. In this video, we're going to break down the latest federal election projections from 338 Canada. These projections provide insights into how Canadians are currently planning to vote and which party is leading the race for the upcoming election. We'll also be covering the seat projections, so let's dive in and see what these numbers tell us about the political landscape in Canada. First up, let's talk about the popular vote. The popular vote shows us the percentage of the total vote each party is expected to get. It's important to understand that these percentages are based on polls and are always an estimate, so they can change. Here's how the parties stand right now. The Conservative Party of Canada is leading with 45%. This is a strong lead. It means 45% of Canadians, according to these projections, plan to vote for the Conservatives. But there's always a margin of error in these estimates. So the CPC could get as low as 41% or as high as 49%, depending on how things go closer to election day. This significant lead is a good sign for the Conservatives, as it puts them in a dominant position heading into the election. The Liberal Party of Canada is at 21%. This is a sharp decline from their usual support. The LPC's support is down by a significant amount from past elections. If we account for the margin of error, the Liberals could be anywhere from 17% to 25% of the vote. This shows that the Liberal Party is struggling to maintain the same level of voter support they've had in the past. The New Democratic Party is holding steady with 18%. This means the NDP still has a solid base of support. With the margin of error, they could have anywhere from 15% to 21% of the vote. The NDP seems to be holding firm, even though they haven't seen much of an increase in support. The Bloc Québécois stands at 8%. The Bloc has traditionally been strong in Quebec, and while their support is still steady, it has dropped a little. Their actual percentage could range from 7% to 9%, so they're in a position to continue dominating in Quebec, but with some slight declines in support. The Green Party of Canada has 4%. This is a relatively low figure for the Greens, and their support could range between 2% and 6%, reflecting a decrease in visibility for the Green Party. Their share of the vote is not as strong as it once was, which puts their future in Parliament at risk. Now, let's move on to seat projections. In Canada, a party needs 172 seats to form a majority government in the House of Commons. The seat projection tells us how many MPs each party is expected to win based on their popular vote. Here's how the parties are projected to perform. The Conservatives are projected to win 238 seats. This is well above the 172 seats needed for a majority. The range for the Conservatives is between 205 and 259 seats, meaning there's a good chance they could win a majority and form the next government. If the Conservatives hit the higher end of their range, they could even have a strong, dominant majority in the House. The Bloc Québécois is expected to win 42 seats. Their range is between 38 and 50 seats, meaning they are expected to retain their significant position in Quebec, even though the number of seats is projected to be slightly lower than before. This drop is likely due to the slight decrease in their overall vote share. The Bloc will continue to play an important role in Quebec and influence the national conversation. The Liberals are projected to win 41 seats. The range for the Liberals is between 21 and 68 seats, which means they could either lose a lot of ground or possibly maintain a small presence in Parliament. If the Liberal vote share stays low, they could find themselves with just 21 seats or even fewer. This shows a major drop in Liberal support, and they will need to regroup and rethink their strategy to avoid further losses. The NDP is projected to secure 21 seats. Their seat range is between 10 and 33 seats, meaning they could either lose a few seats or potentially hold steady, depending on how things play out. It shows that while the NDP is not in a dominant position, they are still projected to have a voice in Parliament. However, there's a chance they could lose a few key seats if their support doesn't grow. The Green Party is projected to win 1 seat. Their range is between 0 and 3 seats, showing that they might struggle to maintain representation. The Green Party is facing challenges, and their low projected seat count could mean they lose their presence in Parliament entirely if things don't improve. So, as you can see, the Conservative Party is in a very strong position to win a majority government. They are far ahead in the popular vote and projected to win a large number of seats. On the other hand, the Liberals and NDP are facing significant losses, and the Green Party might even lose all its seats in Parliament. The Bloc Québécois remains steady in Quebec, but their overall national presence is slightly reduced. These projections give us a snapshot of where the race stands today, but things can always change. Will the Conservatives hold their lead? Can the Liberals make a comeback? Will the NDP or Greens find new support? We'll have to wait and see as we get closer to the election. What do you think about these projections? Do you agree with the numbers, or do you think there will be surprises? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to today's Blueprint News for more detailed updates and analysis. We'll keep you informed as the election draws near.